how we were in debt, and I hate to like blame, but it was the deployment. My husband went overseas for an entire year, and my son was a year and a half and my daughter was 3.5. It was like my least favorite ages. I love their ages now, 4 and 6, and just the older they get, the more fun it is. But when they're young, you know, you can't express to them, they can't express to you, and it's just a lot of screaming and a lot of fits. So he left. I always tease him that he left for a year on purpose, so he didn't have to deal with the terrible 2s and the terrifying 3s. But it was so hard because I was a stay-home mom, and so I was with these little children, and we lived 3.5 hours from any family. So I lived in this moldy town. So my son his lungs were infected all the time, and he was on steroids, so he was always mad, and it was like the worst year of my life. And I would just get so panicked, and I couldn't go and grab a drink because, you know. So really my only form of relief is I would just be like, okay kids, let's go out to eat. And so then we'd go out to eat for like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then we'd go to the mall and get a fruit drink, you know, and then I'd have sushi every Friday. And so I always tease that everything on the credit card is completely food. And so because that was the only time we felt normal, because, you know, when you go out to eat as a family, you just have fun and all that stuff. And so it seemed like the only time we were all right is when we were going out to eat, which wasn't good. But it got us through the deployment with, you know, not too much damage except just to our finances. And Chad was really understanding, and he was just glad I didn't run off with someone else. But I still never want to be like, well, at least I stayed with him. I just, you know, but no, I should have relied more. The first deployment, I relied on God more. And plus we didn't have kids, but I would read my Bible every single night. And then the second deployment, it's like I just didn't read my Bible that much, and it totally made a difference, because then I'd run to trying to like go out to eat, or another thing is the Dillard lady, she would play with my kids while I'd try on clothes. So I'd almost go there not because I wanted clothes. I'd go there so I could be in the dressing room by myself for 2 hours. And then she'd play with my kids, and she'd bring me clothes and be like, oh, you look so cute. And so it's like a whole year going without really being taken care of, and here this Dillard's lady would just take care of me, take care of my kids. She'd play with them and feed them snacks, and yeah, and so I would go to Dillard's to get a break. Well, then when you're in the dressing room for 2 hours, you can't just not buy anything. So then I'd end up like buying the clothes just because. Yeah, so that's another way. So it wasn't all food, but it was never like I want stuff. It was just like I need a break, and that was kind of the only way that I knew how, you know, because I, you know, just didn't have. I don't think we stayed the night at my parents' house even once the entire deployment. It was crazy, and they helped a lot. They came up a lot. So, but they just, you know, live so far away, and I didn't like to travel with the kids so young. So I didn't ever want to go all the way to their house, because traveling 4 hours with little angry children that don't sleep in the car, they do way awesome now. So now I don't mind traveling at all, but I'm just a jibber jabber, and